Flax lovers unite. Let's do Sunday school with Athletes Unlimited Lacrosse. Captains get the royal treatment as we close the weekend. Today, Team Taylor Cummings has a date with a squad led by Dempsey Arsenal. By now, you've heard the ground rules for this league a few times. But if it's your first, we have 58 top-flight players. They get placed on 4 different teams weekly via a captain's draft. The leaderboard points, they pinball around like crazy in anticipation of crowning one single champion next weekend. It is so great to see you again alongside Courtney Martinez-Connor, a 5-time national champion at Maryland. I'm Joe Beninati. Court, these two teams, they came up short yesterday. What is necessary to turn things around for them this afternoon?
Well, first of all, it's other players stepping up for Team Arsenal. They're without 2 players, Hallie Majorana, a stellar attacker, and midfielder Dempsey Arsenal, who does so much on the field. So other players stepping into that role. When you have an absence, you need to make sure you are doing their work on top of yours. For Team Cummings, it's all about coming together. If you look at their roster, it has players from Team USA, past and present. So collectively, they're excellent in their own rights, but playing together as a team is what's so very important.
This season is racing by rather quickly, and there are a lot of different players that are leaving their mark. Nicole Levy, in the last couple of weekends, she demands our attention.
Nicole Levy, she does such a great job on the field by never giving up on a play. She's a finisher in every sense of the word, but right here we see her riding hard. Your job is not done as an attacker until you win that ball back. So causing a turnover and then putting herself in a position to score. But look at that, she's faking a between-the-leg shot. Goalkeeper, honest, up and over the shoulder is how she finished that because she's so very crafty around the crease.
I really like her moxie. She can be flashy. She's definitely a threat when the ball lands in her cross. Nicole's going to be taking her best shot to solve Britt Reed today. The gutsy goalie was outstanding yesterday, turning in a season-best save total in a single game.
She was a large part in why the score was so close. She has the ability to make saves from downtown. She's set and ready. She's always exploding to that ball. But right here, we see her patience in tight, very quick reactions. But in her own words, being less jumpy, and she was very confident, saving shots from even the best in the world.
When Britt makes a good stop early, her confidence level rises. She becomes a game changer, number 19 in the goal. Every save that she'll make and the goalies make, it's worth 6 points on the leaderboard. There are a ton of stat points available for the individual players, Court, but winning as a team is the best way to climb the leaderboard.
Absolutely. When you win as a team, it's not just that overall win worth 45, but every single quarter you can earn 20 points. That's each and every player. And then when you play well on the field, your work is recognized by the other players in addition to the fans in the stands, Athletes Unlimited Club members. So game MVP, there's 3 of them per game. And then individual stat points, when you do all the little work, not just scoring goals, but causing turnovers, making plays, hustle plays, ground balls, you're going to earn points as well. But you want to make sure to do so with the least amount of mistakes, because whether a goalie makes a save or you turn that ball over, you are losing points.
We add it all up, and it plays out on the Geico leaderboard. And when you look at the top 15, isn't it interesting to see goaltenders, 3 of them in the top 6, including the top spot with Katie Glynn.
I love when you look at the leaderboard that a lot of goalkeepers are up there, a defensive player in addition to midfielders, because it's about doing your job on the field. Goalkeepers making saves, earning points, and then midfielders doing their work at both ends of the field. So being sharp on the field, but also on a winning team is what's most important in order to move your way up the board.
Getting set for Team Cummings against Team Arsenal, and Taylor will choose Kaylee Waters to start between the pipes, and that is a good choice. This former 2-time National Goalie of the Year out of North Carolina. At the opposite end, a player we've already spoken about, who stood tall yesterday, Britt Reed. I find it hard, Courtney, when I read this stat line. 3 of her last 5 games, double-figure saves. One of those others, 0. Remember, she gave up 12 goals, made 0 stops. That's the sign of a true competitor, the way she's bounced back. Officials today, Liz Brush, Devin Holcomb, Peggy Salucci, and Ronnie Anton. Taylor Cummings' team is in the blue, and off the draw circle, down go Cummings and McCool, and they're slow to get back up.
As players from both sides, obviously tremendous amount of sportsmanship that you see on the field. Each and every one of these players have potentially played together previously within Athletes Unlimited or in their respective college or Team USA. So they truly are worried about their friends, their opponents, their teammates.
McCool walking gingerly back to the sideline for Team Cummings. Athletic trainers nearby checking out number 40 in blue. Marie is in the top 17 on our leaderboard. Crash, bang, and ugh.
Joe, those two, Cummings and McCool, two great friends on the field, but any fall where your entire body is hitting the ground, you certainly feel it, especially after a day of playing a full game yesterday.
McCool landing flat on her back. 6-on-6 this end of the field. Team Arsenal in the gold without its captain. Dempsey is not playing this weekend due to an undisclosed medical condition. There's a 60-second shot clock in Athletes Unlimited Lacrosse. Johansson's quick stick is stopped by Waters. A very difficult chance for the initial test there. Once Waters makes a save like that in the game's first half minute, she tends to get better and better. 43 can be a major player in these games. She is often among the MVP voting. There are 20 points available for every player on the team when you win a quarter. Holly Riley lost the ball there. Unsettled situation. Kenzie Kent scoops and scores! She caught Waters way out of the cage and made no mistake.
This reminded me of Kenzie Kent's hockey days, ice hockey that is. She was a dual sport athlete in college, playing for Boston College, both the lacrosse and ice hockey teams. You see right here, Izzy McMahon riding hard. Excellent job in causing a turnover. Smart to get it quickly into the hands of Kenzie Kent. That quick little hitch fake high right before she dropped it low for a quick little worm burner. Kaylee Waters is so athletic, but when you're in a foot race against another athletic player with the scoring ability of Kenzie Kent, it's always going to go in her favor.
Fans may be new to the game, might be asking, why is Waters out of the goal so far in that instance? Well, she was coming out of the cage to help Holly Riley on the clear. That's when things went sideways, and oops, very much to Kenzie Kent's benefit. Kenzie has goals in 6 of her last 8 games. Ball down, Cummings comes up with a ground ball, give her 2 more points. She leads all the players in Athletes Unlimited in individual stats as we get a whistle here. Just past the opening minute with Athletes Unlimited Lacrosse, sponsored by Guaranteed Rate. If you believe it, you can do it. First offensive touch for Peros. She gets inside and scores! Emily Peros.
Emily Peros, she's such an unassuming player. She's small in stature, but she's so quick and she does the dirty work often all over the field. Not often is she getting in the stat points for goals, but when she does and she's feeling it, we see her right there slicing and dicing through the defense. None of them really put a hard body on her. She's going to use her speed to get through them. Right there we see 4 people trailing behind her. That shows her quickness on the offensive end of the field. Again, another look right here, protecting, maneuvering through that defense, and ultimately putting it low and away. So very smart for Emily Peros.
Emily, she says that Lax is embedded into who she is. The former long time ago first chair clarinet player is a pretty darn good lacrosse player. Off the ground, good to see Marie McCool back in there and running smoothly right to the cage, denied by Reed, who juggles it into her cross inside the goal circle. For every save the goalies make, it's worth 6 points. Reed being harassed by Katrina Dowd on the clear. Help comes from Amber McKenzie. She'll bring it ahead. Courtney, she was making us laugh before this season began. She says, remember, I played when there were no boundaries in this sport.
And goggles. No boundaries, no goggles. And we saw right there defensive pressure by Team Cummings in blue. When a defender has the ball, it looks like they're shutting everyone off. They want to make that defensive player handle the ball, make sure they have the skills necessary. Tell you, every single defender here at one point in time was a midfielder.
Kent floats this into traffic. Ball down, Amanda Johansson picks it up. Johansson missed the first couple of weeks of this season. She was injured in Team USA camp. She had a bad ankle. Garrett gets to the elbow, kicks it behind for McCone. 5 seconds to shoot. Kent sneaks and scores! Kenzie Kent.
Yet another one for Kenzie Kent. She is so dominant on the field. She not only has the ability to score, but she's quite the feeder as well. She's smart around that goal cage. She knows when she has a step on her defensive player. Right here, we see Lindsay McCone giving her that pass. Lindsay McCone's defender had no idea somebody was cutting behind her. Again, ideally, you want to see both ball and girl defensively, but Kenzie Kent sneaking her way around the backside of that cage, asking for that ball away. That quickness of being able to release it as soon as she catches it is what gave her the best advantage.
Up to 15 tallies on the season, 12 points for every goal that you score. Kenzie went crazy last weekend with 6 goals and 9 assists. She leads all of Athletes Unlimited in helpers this season. Cummings wins the draw to herself, then plays to McCool. On the break, it's Dowd. Dowd whirls inside, makes that extra pass. It gets picked off by McCone, and it is Team Arsenal in goal looking to counterattack. On the lead by 1, thanks to a pair of strikes from Kenzie Kent. Looking to the interior, Waters anticipated that. Nicely, the goalie made the pickoff. That's a caused turnover and 12 points for the keeper. And we showed you where Waters is on the overall leaderboard. This is weekend 4 of 5. We crown a champion next weekend, and Waters could very well be that.
Kaylee is so active outside of the goal cage. We saw her dodging by 2 riding attackers there. She's athletic. Whenever you have an athletic goalkeeper, they're going to make sure that they're looking for any opportunities around that goal cage to cause a turnover.
Cummings finds Dowd inside, and she scores. Katrina Dowd.
Taylor Cummings, she always has her head up while she's dodging. She sees the field so very well. Katrina is a sniper around the goal circle. 2 of them working very well together as we take a peek right here. Taylor Cummings looking to dodge, a little stutter step, but then Katrina Dowd sneaking behind that goal cage, looking to equalize the game at 2s.
Athletes Unlimited Lacrosse is sponsored by Guaranteed Rate. If you believe it, you can do it. These 2 teams had their day in the sun yesterday, but they came up short. trying to bounce back into the win column today, Amber McKenzie and her friends with Team Arsenal. As we are involved in a 2-2 score today, Britt Reed already with a couple of stops under her belt. 2-2 Cummings and Arsenal as we near the midway mark of the opening quarter. We shout out thanks to our presenting field partners, the good people at Geico, for their assistance. Kaylee Waters getting things set inside of her goal circle. As far as the stat points are concerned, remember there are individual stat points, there are win points, and there are MVP points. No one better than Taylor Cummings to this point. Off the draw, it's scraped down. Official there, Devin Holcomb, going to award the ball to Team Cummings. Peros and Cummings on the go, 6-on-6. Taylor fires for 2! Taylor Cummings, right at the top of that 8-meter key, was thinking 2-point shot all along.
Joe, what opened up that opportunity were Emily Peros as well as Marie McCool getting themselves into position, asking for that ball back. This is that team concept that we were looking from Team Cummings yesterday. Looks like her foot is on that line, so not quite a 2-pointer, almost, but the defense kept giving her space. If you're going to give her space, which right there we see number 23 in gold, her stick was in the air. She wasn't making contact because it was a 2v1 between Marie Cummings and her. However, space meant she had time and room to prep, bring her stick back, and wind up for a nice shot on the run. Almost a 2-pointer, but not quite.
Just 9 seconds apart. The ruling on the field was a 1-point goal for Taylor. She does have a 2-pointer earlier in the year. This is a 1-point goal, and it gives her side the 3-2 advantage. Another 12 points for Cummings with respect to her stat points and overall leaderboard points. Each player on the team, should you win the quarter, gets 20. McCone wins the draw and finds Amanda Johansson. Every play matters in Athletes Unlimited Lacrosse, the inaugural season. This is the only league that's driven entirely by the athletes. We're about 30 miles north of Washington, D.C. Temperatures were in the high 70s at the opening draw. Overcast skies, a pleasant day. Kenzie Kent's already had a good day for herself. 2 goals on the board in the opening quarter. Halfway through the 60-second shot clock. Quick stick there, kick out off the post. Kenzie Kent with that blind backhanded release that rattled around off the frame. Coming up with the ground ball, it's Sammy Jo Tracy, as she's shaded there defensively by Holly Riley, 2 in the blue. Sammy Jo turns and snapped it high. Closest to the ball when it leaves the playing field on a shot, gets possession. It'll stay with Team Arsenal. Kenzie Kent leaning in against Becca Block, a marquee matchup, attacker against defender. Johansson outside the 8-meter key. Matched up with McCool. We mentioned that there's no Dempsey Arsenal again today. Filling in for her, 57 in the goal, is Maddie Hall. Maddie, who was crunched and fouled there by Peros. She played collegiately at Florida, 21 goals her senior year, back in 2019. Pass from McMahon, that was well read and intercepted. It's Meg Dowdy cruising the other way. Dowdy wiggles past McCone, finds the open Cummings. Taylor going to the goal off the split dodge. Her bid was blocked by Johansson. Followed up nicely by Katrina Dowd off the question mark move. She'll leave it to Kylie Allmiller. Allmiller rarely off the board. She was held there yesterday with no points, as Reed made a good save there on a shovel shot.
Joe, both of these teams playing with a sense of urgency. Neither of them had a win yesterday, so they want to make sure that they are coming up.
Allmiller crossing over Courtney, and she snaps it home.
Coming up and making a change. Both teams addressing any issues that they had yesterday. Kylie Allmiller did not have herself in the stat sheet like she normally does, with several points, already having a goal today. Very sneaky around that goal cage. Both of these teams working all over the field. We see Nicole Levy right here, finding a cutting. Kylie Allmiller. Again, all you need is a stick head to show yourself. Defense was there after she caught the ball. Tiana Walfer not getting on her hands until after she made that catch, and that is too much time to give a sniper like Kylie Allmiller inside of that 8.
Allmiller, goals in 7 of her last 8 games. This one to the top corner, and she paid for it. She went down cartwheeling in a heap. But she's able to beat Britt Reed as you get the goalie's point of view. Hugs and high fives for Kylie. It's a 4-2 lead for Team Cummings. Folks, if you want to get even closer to the game, join the Unlimited Club for free by downloading the Athletes Unlimited app today. You'll receive all the latest news and updates into the palm of your hand. Stream digital games, unlock special access, and more. If you want to upgrade, we recommend that. Do it for a whole year of behind-the-scenes access. All the Athletes Unlimited seasons. Join the players in voting for game MVPs and the end-of-season awards. Visit auprosports.com. That's auprosports.com. You'll learn more about the Unlimited Club. You can make your Geico Unlimited pick and unlock content from your favorite player. Playing in front of friends and family and special guests today. As far as the athletes that are on the field right now, Court, this is the game within the game. And look, Taylor Cummings has vaulted to the top spot.
She's involved all over the field, from the draw to the D to the offensive end, so she has an opportunity to constantly put herself in terms of statistical points increases. And then you have Dempsey Arsenal still holding on to that 4th spot despite not playing yesterday or today. So it's going to be tough for her to hold on to that position throughout the entire weekend without being on the field.
Dowd and Cummings had goals 9 seconds apart. Dowd, Cummings, and Allmiller, 3 tallies in just over 2 minutes. And Team Cummings has the advantage by 2. Checking out the overall leaderboard, Taylor Cummings at 12:23 on top. Cummings and Arsenal in the opener today. On FS1, we'll have the nightcap with Wood and Glenn. Fast break! Dowd wastes no time. How quickly things happen right off the draw.
Team Cummings showing that they're making adjustments on the field. Starts off with winning that draw control and pushing the fast break. Every single one of these players incredibly fast on the field, but their eyes are up. They're looking at all options. Taylor Cummings hitting Katrina Dowd, nice and tight on the crease, but they're a man up coming straight from that draw control. So they're making defense have to shift and move. They're finding the open player, which is very important. And then on top of that, finishing each and every opportunity that they have right here. As soon as she's receiving that ball, that quick little hesitation before she finished on the weak side of her body. Incredibly smart, nice stick handling right there. Ever so small hitch and finish.
Katrina Dowd with tallies in 4 of the last 5. 2 goals today, just 6 seconds after Allmiller made it 4-2. The lead grows to 5-2. From the draw, Cummings using her body to shield Molly Garrett away, and Emily Peros comes up with a scoop. She threw a bad pass there, though. She telegraphed it. Wakefield on the intercept. And this is 6-on-6 for Arsenal in the gold. Dempsey's team had the 2-1 advantage right out of the gate, but since then, the team in blue has banded together nicely.
Joe, it's all about winning the draw control. When you win the draw, the ball is in your stick. You have more opportunities on the field, and they haven't touched the ball with those constant wins at the draw by Team Cummings.
McCone kept there in close contact with Taylor Cummings. Sammy Jo Tracy takes it for a ride. Kira Pelton was peeking out on her. This is Kenzie Kent looking for the early hat trick. Kent marked by block. McCone with 14 seconds to shoot. Cummings there defensively looking for the takeaway. Johansson, 2-point shot, she scores! Amanda Johansson, she was very close to that 8-meter key, but she buzzed it past Waters.
As the season has gone on, as well as game by game, week by week, the players have become more and more comfortable with looking at 2-point opportunities. So right here we see a little flip by McCone. I like the fact that Amanda Johansson, she was thinking about it. She sees that her defender has a distance That way she can wind up and take that shot again. Look at this flip. She's getting herself set and ready. She already had it in her mind. Without a defender in sight, they're not going to be able to block that ball. And she has such height. She's able to really wind up. And if you're going to place that two-pointer anywhere, Joe, you're a former goalie, offside hip, with speed, with power, catching them off guard. Very smart of Amanda Johansson. This is just her second week back on the field.
The left foot was the one of concern. She planted that left toe behind the 8-meter key line, so that is a 2-point tally, bringing the score to 5-4. With respect to draw controls, Cummings has had her way there. 7 out of 9 already for Taylor Cummings' squad as this is bounced out of bounds. We have 1 minute and 16 seconds to play in a high-scoring opening quarter. There are 20 points on the line. If you win the quarter, everybody on your team gets 20. If it's tied, we'll carry it over to quarter 2. Innovation, inclusion, entertainment, all those core values for Athletes Unlimited. We're in a pleasure to unveil them for you this summer at Maureen Hendricks Field. McCool dancing with the ball, picked up by Wakefield. Cummings wants it straight away. She'll ISO against Johansson. Off the split dodge, that pass was too hot to handle for Allmiller, backed up by McPartland. Shot clock's at 24. Inside, there's Peros, denied by Reed. Reed taking that one off the left knee. Shot clock's turned off. Katrina Dowd, so smart. She knows that her team has the lead. They can just sit on the ball. Everybody's going to get 20 points. And maybe they'll tack on something perhaps in the last 10 seconds. Dowd with McKenzie hung up, looking for the pass to Cummings. She was guarded by Garrett. 7 seconds to play in the quarter. Nice ground ball by Peros, closing in. Force feeding Cummings. Taylor lost it. Johansson flings it the length of the field. And the horn sounds, ending the opening 8 minutes. 5-4 for Team Cummings. Right out of the dressing room and off and running. Tough on the goalies. Britt Reed and Kaylee Waters, 2 of the best in Athletes Unlimited lacrosse. Big smile on the face of Kylie Allmiller. Why not? This looks like this is going to be a very offensive-minded game. It's 5-4 after 1. Team Arsenal in gold there, watching Team Cummings score 4 of the last 6 points of that opening quarter to take the 5-4 advantage after 8 minutes of play. Folks, you can own a piece of Athletes Unlimited history with the first ever Topps trading card set for professional women's lacrosse. The limited edition sets feature all the athletes plus additional cards about the league and randomly inserted serial numbered parallels, including player autographs and Nike Golden tickets. These sets are available to purchase now through August 27th at Topps.com. That's TOPPS.com. It's the only opportunity to purchase this unique collectible. Kayla Wood looking good in gold there. Folks, it's time to earn points for watching today's telecast. Take out your phone, enter the code that you see on the screen right there, bottom left, into your Athletes Unlimited app. You'll get some points. Don't have the Athletes Unlimited app? Then head over to the Apple App Store or Google Play Store. Start earning points to unlock exclusive rewards and stay in the know about all things Athletes Unlimited. There are lots of Wakefield fans in the stands today, and I'm sure fans of Katrina Dowd's work. Courtney, so far so very good for 4 in the blue.
Katrina, she is so sneaky around the goal cage, but she's always finding herself in a good position to score. We see right on the doorstep right there. And then in any fast break situation, she sees Cummings with the ball. She is putting herself right in front of that goal cage. Quick releases, which are super important before any of those defensive players can slide and get a piece of it.
Highly decorated, as you could tell on the screen with her bio. And Courtney, she came back to the United States about, what, 10 days before the start of play, traveling back from Germany. You think she could give us a little lead on Oktoberfest?
I think that sounds good. She loves traveling. You know, she's been a collegiate assistant coach as well as a head coach, but she said there's nothing like being overseas. Obviously, she's there with her fiance, loves life on the other side. So I'm curious how long her U.S. career lasts, because sometimes, as athletes say, there is life beyond lacrosse, even though I don't know if I've recognized that yet.
There's Dempsey Arsenal, Courtney. She's out injured this weekend, will not play. Dempsey came into this weekend's action number 1 on the leaderboard. To the draw to start quarter number 2. Cummings has had the hot hand there, and with help from Pelton, that continues. McCool racing in with a 5-on-4 fast break. Peros, big face dodge, bounced it wide. Backup belongs to Stevens. Pump fake. Cummings gets to the interior. She ran right into the defensive wall of Amber McKenzie. McKenzie, her husband Norval, running backs coach with SEC Vanderbilt. They've been married 7 years, Court. They've lived in 5 different states. Allmiller getting to the interior, just sent it high. On the end line, this ball will belong to Team Arsenal. Caroline Wakefield jogging it ahead. We play 10-on-10 in Athletes Unlimited Lacrosse. The goals are about 80 yards apart. Tomorrow night, after the conclusion of games that were postponed from Friday, we'll have 4 captains drafting new teams for next weekend. That'll be the final weekend of Athletes Unlimited Lacrosse. We'll crown a single champion, hand out 4 medals. Spinning back, Sammy Joe fires, kick out, saves a good one. Waters has the rebound, perfect on the outlet. Peros is all alone at midfield. Peros works in 4-on-3, kick it, make one more to Stevens. Great recovery by Team Arsenal defensively.
We saw each and every one of their sticks in the air. They were shifting, they were moving. Most important slide was that cross crease slide.
McCool let this one go. That hit a defender. That could very well be a card.
Every time a defensive player is hit by a shot, dangerous, propelling, as long as it's knees and below, it's a yellow card. However, if that shot was above the knees, it's an immediate red card, which means you are out for the remainder of the game.
Liz Brush jogging over to the timekeeper's table. She wants to see this. Molly Garrett, 32 in the goal, was the player hit from the shot by Marie McCool. Uh-oh. That's square in the back.
So as the referees are taking a look at this right here, inside you had Molly Garrett marking up on her player. It's on the onus of the shooter not to take that shot. There is no shooting space or 3 seconds in Athletes Unlimited. And the attackers have done such a great job of seeing when there's an opportunity or lane or when there's not. And Joe, I believe this is going to be a red card.
This is enormous.
The other player above the knee, so it is a red card.
Marie McCool, who's in the top 17 on the leaderboard. You know she's going to generate a lot of stat points, but she can't when she's been ejected from the game. A red card for hitting Molly Garrett in the back with a shot while Garrett was defending inside the 8-meter key.
Joe, it's one of those safety calls, whether there's shooting space or not in the collegiate game as well. Referees, sometimes it's hard to see a shooting space call, and if a player in the NCAA takes a shot and hits a defender without that shooting space call, again, it's on them to not take that shot, so no different when there's no shooting space call. Molly, glad she's okay, number 32 in gold, taking that shot to the back, because that does not feel good. The ball is hard. It's not a soft ball.
Far from it. We saw the backup goalie, Amber Hill, consoling Marie McCool. This Team Cummings will be without one of its best midfielders for the balance of the game. Johansson working in. This is a player-up situation. Closing. Score! On a BB from the outside. Justice is served. Garrett gets the goal.
Arsenal getting on the board first in the second quarter. In their player-up situation, we saw their offensive strategy. Players placed around, 2 players working on the inside. But it was the shot from the outside, not necessarily one of the first looks they're looking at. But as the defense is shifting and moving, if they haven't made it to an outside player's hands, she has the green light. We see it right here to take that shot. Excellent job by Molly Garrett. Catch, turning, and finishing all in one, sighting that goal cage.
Molly gets her 5th goal of the season. That one has to feel good, doubly so because she had been blanked in 4 straight games, and this is just a few moments after she was struck by that shot from Marie McCool. We are level at 5 apiece, just a couple minutes or so into the second quarter. Cummings is so adroit at winning that draw to herself. She takes it down and looks for McPartland. McPartland feeds inside. Peros sticks it.
Team Cummings showing their speed, their athleticism, their ability to win the draw. Again, win the draw, you rule the world. Your team has the ball. You are controlling the tempo of the game. As we watch right here, Taylor Cummings competing, out-jumping Team Arsenal. Quick little move, dodging. Her eyes are up. She sees a trail cutter, and immediately Kelly McPartland sees that Emily Peros inside has a lane, can catch, turn, and finish. Quick ball movement is the way to beat any defense. And that was textbook by Team Cummings. Nice little hitch before she finishes Emily Peros. Now Team Cummings taking the lead.
Emily taking that feed inside, making no mistake there. Peros, who did not have a point yesterday, already has a multi-goal game going today. That's her 5th multi-goal performance. The tally comes just 12 seconds after the Garrett player-up goal. Cummings seesaws back into the lead. Team Cummings in the blue. Taylor going again. Another draw control. Another 2 points for that on the overall leaderboard. McPartland chased by Johansson. Garrett, the former captain at Michigan, kicks it ahead. Allmiller, who played collegiately at Stony Brook, volleys that one to McPartland, and she will settle. Looping it over the top. Allmiller one-on-one against Garrett halfway through the 60-second shot clock. Kylie Allmiller off the sweep. Rolling back to the inside. Bumped into the player setting the pick there. That was McPartland. Raked on out by Garrett. Taken on the move by Walfer. Former Towson Tiger didn't get very far with it. Off the ground, it belongs to McCone. McCone thinking two, stabbed by Waters. She made that look easy. Kaylee Waters sends it out there to Sydney Parecka, former Florida three-time All-American. Moves it on to Allmiller. As we near the midway mark of this second quarter, a quarter that is level at 1 apiece. Remember, there are 20 points on the line, Courtney, for each and every player on the roster when you win the quarter. Parecka off the split dodge, sent it wide. It's backed up by Molly Stevens. Stevens has goals in 7 of her last 8. She's had the hot hand. We get the timeout. A chance for us to catch our breath. Getting you back to Maureen Hendricks Field in just a few moments. Smiles of glee as the goals continue. In the black t-shirt there, Dempsey Arsenal, the captain for the 3rd straight week. Dempsey not able to play this weekend. She's out injured. It's 6-5 for Team Cummings in the second. Our players were asked to talk about self-belief, a time of reflection, and how it affected their career. Let's listen to more from Dempsey.
My senior year of high school, I tore my ACL, and so that was really kind of a terrible experience, but I feel like I wouldn't be where I am without it. A lot of PT, a lot of just extra reps and hard work. So it really taught me how to work hard and kind of believe in myself, and I really think back on that a lot.
Plenty of wall ball drills there while the knee was on the mend for Dempsey Arsenal.
You know, Joe, it's so important for players at home to understand that a long time ago an ACL, you know, used to mean a lot more than it does now. It's common ground. You can come back from it, still be a dominant player on the field. Obviously, Dempsey did that before her college career, and that's proof that with hard work, you can certainly overcome any type of injury.
That was Believe You Will, presented by Guaranteed Rate. We saw Dempsey there with the other injured player, Hallie Majorana. Hallie, who scored the first goal ever in Athletes Unlimited Lacrosse history. Cummings looking for the latest, had that one blocked. It belongs to Britt Reed with 3:25 to go in the opening half. The clear out there for Walfer. Walfer's a Harry Potter fan, Court. She says that she could use a bludger playing defense, but if she did, there'd be a lot of people getting injured.
I just threw the best Harry Potter party for my daughter.
Did you really?
Food, all of the above. Little giveaways, the food was the best.
Look at you. Kenzie Kent works in on the roll dodge. Defended there by Becca Block, step for step. Kent, no passing lane just yet. 20 seconds to shoot. Johansson, look inside. Sammy Jo Tracy spun out of there, lost the ball, and it comes up for Cummings. Courtney, what will Team Cummings be missing without Marie McCool? McCool assessed a red card for hitting Molly Garrett with a shot earlier in this quarter.
You know, it's certainly a big loss. Marie McCool, she's a U.S. team player. She has legs to run in the midfield. She just goes forever. She's a factor defensively as well, causes a lot of turnovers. However, Team Cummings is the lone team in Athletes Unlimited this week to not just have 4 midfielders, but have 5. So they still have 4 middies out there, so that's important for them. On the flip side, Team Arsenal only has...
Can't stop Emily Perros today. She has the hat trick.
Joe, I think she heard us talk about her no goals from yesterday. Again, not slowing down a beat. Team Cummings pushing the fast breaks from one end of the field to the other. We saw Kaylee Waters coming out of the goal cage, getting involved offensively. They want to play fast, they want to play hard, and they certainly have a sense of urgency wanting to come out with a win today.
Britt Reed, hands on hips, checking out the scoreboard and seeing that her side is down by 2. Perros is having herself a day. Second hat trick for her in her Athletes Unlimited lacrosse time. She had a 3+3=6 game a couple weeks back.
Nice little work together with Sydney Pareca. Sydney's eyes were up. Sydney's a great dodger in her own right. I think that's why all eyes were on her, which was able to give Emily Perros a little sneaky cut for a give and go. Sydney gave the ball right back to Emily. She does such a great job of protecting her stick through those defensive players as she's cutting to goal.
Emily Perros, maiden name Garrity, her husband, a USA track and field sprinter, 400 meters. First name Clayton. Emily's background, she's joined Jenny Levy's staff in Chapel Hill. Scoreboard reads 7-5 right now for Team Cummings, and we let you know about the Hypervolt percussion massage device and Normatec compression systems. Just some of the HyperIce products that the players have been using in the Athlete Innovation Lab. Proud partners of Athletes Unlimited, HyperIce has been helping the athletes move better, live better, and be better on the field. Saw Lindsay McCone using that earlier today, just prior to face-off. Thanks to our friends at HyperIce for all of their support. It's 7-5 at the moment. We focus more and more on the leaderboard overall and in-game. These players are on the field right now.
All the players who are in the game right now have an opportunity to continue and move up the leaderboard. Obviously, we already have several players in the top 10, from goalkeepers to midfielders to attackers. Again, the team that is winning the most in the game from each quarter to the very end of the game, in addition to their statistical points, obviously MVP is factored in once the game is completed, are going to have the best opportunity of moving forward.
Team Kayla Wood, Team Katie Glynn. 4 o'clock for you Eastern time on FS1, second of the 2 games today. McPartland driving in, puts that pass through, and Britt Reed makes the pickoff, and now the keeper comes racing from the cage. And there was a timeout asked for, apparently, by Team Arsenal to make sure they maintained possession there.
Very heads-up play by the captain. As you have the ball in your stick, you're allowed to call a timeout. The fact that she's on the sideline can only help her team with that extra coaching knowledge. Sometimes you see things differently than you do on the field.
Courtney, athlete causes. They allow these athletes to play their season in part for the benefit of the non-profit organization of their choice. Let's learn more from Tiana Walfer.
Hi, my name is Tiana Walfer, and I'm playing for the American Cancer Society. There's a few reasons why I chose the American Cancer Society. One is very personal to me, having family members that had cancer. So with that, just that connection that I'm sure a lot of people can relate to, unfortunately. And the American Cancer Society doesn't just focus on one specific cancer, it focuses on all of them. And that was something that's important to me in my personal experience with so many family members having to deal with different types of cancers. So I just hope to continue to bring that awareness as I play.
Congratulations to you, Tiana. 3 years a starter. Courtney Walfer was at Towson, not far away from where we are right now. Good to see number 3 back on the field. She'd missed the last couple of weekends out injured.
Joe, one of the things that the athletes love about Athletes Unlimited is the fact that they are able to each select their own personal cause, obviously many near and dear to their heart, just like we heard Tiana talk about the American Cancer Society. And not often are their personal causes, their beliefs taken into account, something that they really are appreciative of in this league.
You've been telling us that the players have their pets around the compound, around the complex, the headquarters for Athletes Unlimited. Tiana was telling us about a cat that she has named Oliver, who behaves like a dog. A cat with a dog's personality.
Okay, then I could like that cat.
I figured you would. This pass gets over top of the head of Katie Hirsch. That's a turnover back to Team Cummings. Cummings in the blue has the 2-point advantage, and they lead in this second quarter 2-1. Trying to win, as you can tell, top of the screen, 20 points for every player on the team when you win the quarter. 45 for everybody on the team when you win the game. All of those points, every play matters, every quarter matters in Athletes Unlimited. Cummings driving, feeds inside. Great catch by Levy. That shovel goes wide of the goal. Still 32 seconds on the shot clock. Just over a minute in the half. Peros, who's been the driving force for Team Cummings, especially minus McCool now. Allmiller gets inside and scores! Kylie Allmiller flattening defenders on her way to the cage.
Kylie Allmiller already with 2 on the day today, and it's not even halftime. Kylie is a dominant lefty. We see she's challenging to the goal. She uses that to her advantage, oftentimes setting up her left hand, using the 2-man game. I think they may be looking for an illegal pick right here, talking about it briefly. We see Molly Garrett was taken out in that, so we're going to hear more from the referees as to whether or not they thought that was a blind pick. Nevertheless, right now, that was excellent job of Allmiller coming strong off of the pick.
Her follow through, catching Amanda Johansson right there. Didn't catch her with the cross, however. That was more body to body.
It looked like her stick hit into Amanda Johansson's stick, which Amanda's stick then hit her in the face.
Officials today, Liz Brush, Devin Holcomb, Peggy Salucci, and Ronnie Anton checking it all out. If it stands for Allmiller, it's a 3 consecutive goal run for the team in the blue jerseys. As the officials discuss, number 12 is the head official, that's Liz Brush. Peeking at that tablet. There are no set teams in Athletes Unlimited Lacrosse. Fans are following their favorite players. We'll have a draft tomorrow to pick the sides for the final weekend. This is game number 21 of 30 this season. Let's listen in.
We need that player off. Go get that player. So wait, why? We have a yellow card.
Why?
To 40
Wait, why?
for dangerous follow through. She didn't hit her with 2 minutes.
Facilitator for Team Cummings is Lauren Kahn, and she was not impressed with that call. Facilitators are advisors, they're helpers, they're associate coaches, if you will. There are no coaches in Athletes Unlimited Lacrosse.
Joe, at first I thought they were looking at that pick. However, that follow through is what they're deeming the yellow card for. Stick hit, and this is a little bit of a better angle right here as she took the shot. Her arms, her stick.
Everything starts to collapse there. It looks like it's body, but there is some stick contact as well. Johansson took the worst of it. Allmiller gets the yellow card, so this is a player up for Team Arsenal in the final minute of the opening half. A chance for them to draw perhaps into a tie should they convert for 2 beyond the 8-meter key. McCone against Riley. Garrett will swing it. 57 in the gold is Maddie Hall. She's in for the injured Dempsey Arsenal, the captain of this team. Maddie powers her way in, puts this one over top. And it's Waters with the good speed getting to the end line there, closest to the ball when it goes out. The ball belongs to Team Cummings. They are about to win the 20 points for the second quarter, as they did in the first. They have a 7-5 lead at the moment. That Allmiller goal taken down. This is launched towards the midfield. McKenzie and Wakefield were there, and we hear the horn ending 16 minutes of play.
Joe, that was certainly not the look that Team Arsenal wanted to have in their player-up situation. Generally, you want to have quick ball movement cuts. It's not about taking any one player on. There wasn't a lot of movement offensively. That's why that didn't really develop into any good opportunities to feeding it inside.
The band in blue has the lead over Dempsey Arsenal's team by 2 after 2 quarters, and they'll have to do it without Marie McCool. Just a reminder, McCool given a red card earlier. Taylor Cummings just planting a foot on the line there before she uncorked that long distance tally that beat Britt Reed back in the opening quarter, part of a 5-point spree for Taylor Cummings' team. Taylor, I want you to brag a little bit about your teammate, Emily Peros. Describe the type of player that she is.
Oh, Em's just so much fun to play with. She's so scrappy and gritty and is all over the field all the time. I absolutely love playing with her at US. I love playing with her here, and she's one of those really like unsung hero type of players that doesn't always get the credit for all of the work she puts in.
Taylor, you have a knack at that center draw control. Talk us through that. How are you able to win so many draws for your team?
You know, I always see the draw as like a 3v3 battle, and I'm so lucky that I have the best circle people in the world to box out or fight for ground balls, so they make my job really, really easy.
Taylor, you and your mates off to a good start. Thanks very much.
Thank you so much.
Taylor Cummings halfway through regulation on top by 2 as we get set for halftime festivities, tearing it up. All the colors of Athletes Unlimited Lacrosse on this sunshiny day at Maureen Hendricks Field, halfway through regulation time. Team Cummings has a 7-5 advantage over the team led by Dempsey Arsenal. We know that the goal scorers get all the glory, but it's the feeders who help fuel the fire. Here's Courtney Martinez-Connor with a tutorial on passing.
When passing the ball, there are a few keys. Making sure our top hand is slid down on our stick. That gives us more leverage, as well as stepping with our opposite foot forward, just like you would see a pitcher in baseball do. So as my top hand is slid down and I'm stepping with that opposite foot forward, I want to make sure my hands are up and away. Now, as I'm doing that simultaneously, my hands are being driven forward, my arms are up and away, and I'm pulling with my bottom hand as I push with my top hand. Now, where that stick head ends up is where that ball is going to be aimed. So in fast motion, as I step forward, drive, push, pull, follow through.
Over the top, great look inside.
So drive them forward, push, pull, follow through.
Courtney, our parents taught us 'tis better to give than receive, and that is so important to have the mindset of a feeder, of a passer.
You know, the biggest difference between passing and shooting is just how hard you push-pull. Obviously, you can change levels on passing as well, but we see so many players out here utilizing different passes behind the back, around the world, and it all stems to have your stick pointing at that target, making sure you push-pull or follow through no matter, even a backbreaker.
And we've seen players display good vision passing today. Just some highlights to break down with regard to finding and delivering the pass at the right time.
You know, right here we take a look at Taylor Cummings. We see her vision, her stick is set up, it's ready to be able to feed that ball, that perfect pass. You saw her follow through directly to her teammate Katrina Dowd, number 4, and then Nicole Levy highlighted right there. Both excellent passes, excellent finish in terms of a shot, perfect passing through and through.
I don't want to put you on the spot here, but if you could receive a pass from someone, who's the best setup person that you've ever seen?
Oh gosh, probably Michelle Tumolo. She has a knack for it. She can literally feed the ball from any position at any level, and passing it around that defensive player's stick is that next most important part. Obviously what you saw in the video, I was doing it without a defender in front of me. However, when defense is in front of you, sometimes you have to throw in a fake or just change the level of that stick.
Tumolo had 4 assists yesterday. We'll see her in the second game today. We'll carry right along, get you back for more highlights. Team Cummings on top. It has been a game with major mood swings. We've had teams go on 3- and 4-goal runs. For the moment, Team Cummings has the advantage, 7-5. Folks, you can join us at Maureen Hendricks Field of the Maryland Soccerplex for game days Tickets are still available for select dates at auprosports.com/tickets. Enjoying the sun and the lacrosse today are the fans just about 30 miles north of D.C. Joe Beninati, Courtney Martinez, Connor. Courtney, who has the advantage in the hustle game so far?
The hustle game is all coming from Team Cummings. They are out shooting, getting more ground balls and winning draw controls. And those are all just battles. I call them 50-50 battles. You don't know who's going to win a draw. It's all about who can hustle more. Same thing with the ground ball. They're anticipating better. They are making sure to put themselves in a better position right now over Team Arsenal.
A lot of lacrosse minds being put to good use there during the halftime festivities for Team Cummings. Let's get to the highlights. It begins with an early gift for Kenzie Kent.
Kenzie Kent, this goal was after her team rode and caused a turnover. She was able to finish it up, which was great. But right now, as we see highlighted, Emily Peros bobbing and weaving through the defense, being very slippery inside. And then quick ball movement for Team Arsenal. Her eyes are up. Lindsay McCone is seeing a cutting Kenzie Kent. She had a step on her defensive player, super smart and sneaky around that crease.
The look down low for Katrina Dowd. Smart pass there.
And then Taylor Cummings, she saw that she had an open lane to goal right here, almost a two-pointer, but her foot was on the line. She's showing her range, that she's not just powerful dodging, but she can shoot from the outside as well. Nicole Levy, eyes up, hitting a cutting Kylie Allmiller inside. When you have lefties on the field, those who work well around the crease, like Katrina Dowd, you're able to dodge far from the outside. And then you have Amanda Johansson right here with the 2-point goal, and then a feed, an assist to Molly Garrett in that player-up situation.
Molly Garrett with a bruise on her back after being hit by Marie McCool. McCool given the red card, ejected, but it was a first half to remember for Emily Peros with a hat trick.
Emily Peros finished out the scoring with 2 more pointers for Team Cummings. She's done her job on the field, winning draw controls, getting ground balls. We see right here Team Cummings out shooting Arsenal. You need to win the draw in order to have the ball in your stick, and that creates opportunities. We see the difference in draw controls, and that is huge. Usually the team that's winning the draw, that translates directly into goals. The score's a little bit closer than what the draw game would tell.
7-5 on the big board where it matters most. We look at the Geico leaderboard. Taylor Cummings in the blue jersey this weekend on the lead. Katie Glynn's team will play in the nightcap.
You know, not surprising right there. Taylor Cummings does her job all over the field. Dempsey Arsenal at spot 5. We've seen her not on the field, but as a cheerleader, coach on the sideline, being a captain. You know, teams wearing gold generally produce on the field, if past weeks have shown us that they've come out with a majority of wins.
2 teams chomping at the bit for the third quarter. We'll get there with you right after these words.
Impossible? Ha, watch me. That word is not in my vocabulary. Welcome to my mentality, where I will show you freedom, recognition, for every athlete, every woman, for my team, for me. Say my name because I am the best at what I do. The All-American, the Olympian. My craft is my free expression, where I compete to win. I stand for racial equality, gender equality, income equality, as a guaranteed, tangible reality. Welcome to where I play, where I am free.
Summer of Unlimited continues from Maureen Hendricks Field at the Maryland Soccerplex. 2 quarters complete in the first of 2 games today. Team Cummings has the advantage over Team Arsenal, 7-5. Dempsey Arsenal joins us from the sideline, the injured captain. Dempsey, just how frustrating is this for you to not be able to play today?
It's pretty brutal, but I'm hoping my team has a better second half and we'll pull out the W. I believe in them.
Dempsey, what were the things you talked about that you need to have changes for on the field, whether it's offensively or defensively, to come away with the win?
I think it's draws. We're down pretty heavily, so I think we just need to grind out the draws and then the rest will fall into place.
Captain, my captain, thanks for sitting in with us. We appreciate it.
Thanks.
Dempsey Arsenal getting back to her sideline. Her team in gold today, squaring off with the squad led by Taylor Cummings. We have Kayla Wood and Katie Glynn coming up next on this field. It's 4 p.m. start time Eastern on FS1 as Cummings and McCone get back to business at the draw. Taylor Cummings, Courtney, was fantastic on the draw in the opening half. I always remark about this. She's taller than you think, and she has the ability to win the draw to herself. When she pops it up, she just has that reach advantage over most.
Well, she has great timing when she jumps as well. Some players jump a little too soon or too late. When I say that she's a competitor through and through, she doesn't use a draw stick. She uses the same stick throughout the game, and that's incredibly difficult as well. She
just won another one, gets her team the first 6-on-6 possession of this third quarter. 60-second shot clock in Athletes Unlimited Lacrosse. 8-meter key. If you score from behind that, you'll get 2 points for your team, 16 points for yourself on the individual leaderboard. Great move by Allmiller. Score! Wow, that was slick.
Kylie Allmiller, she has such a great change of direction. Her footwork is phenomenal. She was able to get her defender on her heels. We see a little stutter side to side, and that acting like she's going to go strong lefty, but a quick roll underneath is where she was able to gain the advantage offensively. We see that overstep right there defensively. She was able to quick roll under. Has a lot of space to shoot before that sliding defender came. Incredibly quick movement right there for Kylie Allmiller.
Allmiller breaking the ankles here of Molly Garrett, so to speak. An unenviable position for the defender to be in, and Allmiller gets her second goal of the day. She had one earlier taken down off of a dangerous follow-through review. So Team Cummings has the 8-5 advantage. It's their biggest lead on the day. Ball down at the restraining box. The officials will give the ball to Becca Block, and she will hurriedly bring it ahead. Block finds Levy. Levy lets it go! She scores! From behind the arc with Reed napping. That could be 2 more.
Potential 2-point goal right here. Nicole Levy, we talked about her in the beginning of the game. She's a finisher in every sense of the word. She does see that cage so very well. She noticed in this transition how Britt Reed came out to cover that attacker who was cutting inside. That opened up an open net for Nicole Levy. We see this pass right here. She's well outside of that 8-meter. A 2-pointer indeed.
Goals in 8 straight games for Nicole. She now pulls into a tie for the league lead in 2-point tallies with Shayna Pareca. And the lead for Team Cummings balloons to 5 points.
Joe, interestingly enough, Marie McCool not on the field. She's out with the red card. Obviously, she only adds to the depth of Team Cummings. However, they seem to have rallied around, playing more together as a team, knowing that, hey, we have one less star out here. We got to step up our game, and they're certainly doing that all over the field, but especially at the draw control. This is the first one that they've lost in quite some time.
Couple of goals for Team Cummings in the first 37 seconds of the third quarter. It's a 10-5 advantage. Kenzie Kent and her friends for Team Arsenal, they have some catching up to do. McCone walking in off the sideline. Lindsey McCone, former Northwestern standout, first team All Big Ten. Kent on the dead run. Block stays with her. Trades her off to Cummings. Kenzie Kent with 25 seconds to shoot. Sammy Jo Tracy against Kira Pelton. Garrett rolls inside. Floats it high there. Good catch by McMahon. Izzy McMahon with 10 seconds to shoot. She's covered by Dowdy, former National Defender of the Year at Maryland. McCone with 4 seconds to shoot. Fires! And Waters eats that up, kneeling to deny. Waters with the save. That's good for 6 points individually. Add that to her overall leaderboard totals, and Kaylee is among the top 5 in the league.
As we take a look at the in-goal cam, Kaylee Waters eyeing that ball all the way into her stick. She's so athletic inside of that goal cage. Love to watch her quick reactions.
McPartland off the hitch. Allmiller rockets one to the corner. Team Cummings can't miss.
Kelly McPartland has done a great job of having her eyes up, seeing her teammates on the field. The absence of Marie McCool, she's playing some more midfield than what we saw yesterday. Right here, Taylor Cummings challenging, eyes on her, but that nice little fake. Kelly McPartland, that fake shot right here, boom, defenders are all looking at her. That opened up a lot of time, room, and space for Kylie Allmiller to wind up. Love that hitch fake. All eyes again defensively were on her. Again, what you are doing as an attacker on the field, you're opening up opportunities for your defense, for your teammates.
A terrific display to start the third quarter for the team in blue. Marie McCool there, number 40 in blue, breathing a little easier after she was ejected for a red card. Team Cummings is in the midst of a 6-0 run. They've opened up the 11-5 lead. We say thanks to our presenting field partners, the good people at Geico, for their efforts and their assistance. Kaylee Waters ready to tend the twine. We invite you to head to auprosports.com. That's where you can get your Athletes Unlimited gear. Don't forget to follow on social at AU Pro Sports for exclusive inside content. Lax fans enjoying the sunshine. Kylie Allmiller enjoying this game and seeing her point totals climb. She's nearing the 1,100 mark. Kylie with another hat trick. She has 6 multi-goal games this season.
Kylie Allmiller is such a dominant player on the offensive end of the field. She has the ability to get herself open by her cutting, but it's also her shaking and baking ability right here. She loves the roll dodges. She works well around the cage, but she is able to shoot from long range as well. So multi-talented, can't be surprised about her doing anything on the field. She can even move to that right-handed side and dip and dunk over with her left hand.
She's never shy of having the blockbuster game. As you see, that's the run we were talking about in just less than 8 minutes. That has opened up the largest separation in this game so far. Allmiller in her last 2 years at Stony Brook, 78 and 88 goals. Kenzie Kent maneuvers in. Finds the open player. Sammy Jo Tracy from down under sent it wide. It's backed up by McComb. There is a whistle. And there appears to be a card coming out. A card has been assessed. Sammy Jo jogs off. Player up for Team Cummings.
Joe, this shot must have hit a defender in the legs, which is why that yellow card was issued.
Player up for the team in blue. Peros already with a hat trick today. Same for Allmiller as she's matched up with Katie Hirsch. 6-on-5 coming straight away. Levy pumps one that's deflected. Wakefield there helping out Britt Reed. Reed has been under siege since the second quarter. Dowd sightseeing behind the goal. Over the top, Allmiller for 2. That hit a defender, or did it? Didn't reach the cage. Back comes Caroline Wakefield. Zigging and zagging ahead. Vocal leader for this team. Wakefield trying to blaze her own path to the goal. Caroline scored against Team Trainer in week 2. Kenzie Kent looking for the scoop. Ground ball is worth 2 points when you pick it up. Somebody's going to get it, and it belongs to Wakefield.
I love watching Kenzie Kent get ground balls off of the ground. She has such reach, uses that strength with her wrist to maneuver that ball in her stick.
She does look like she's playing with a hockey puck from time to time. She went to 3 frozen 4s at BC. Good save by Waters. Waters has had her goalie movements down to a T this afternoon. She looks so sharp.
I think she's doing such a great job in the cage, but I do think shot selections could be a little bit better for Team Arsenal. Times it just seems like they're throwing the ball in as opposed to really thinking and sighting about where they're shooting.
Making it a little too easy. Waters has 5 saves today. Floated over the top. Levy off the hitch, didn't pull the trigger. 30 seconds to shoot. 3.5 to go in this third quarter. 11-5 for Cummings. Taylor looking for more. Reed has the denial. And then Reed puts a glove on that in the goal circle. Sprinting back. Hirsch helping out on the clear. McCone finds Izzy McMahon. Sammy Jo Tracy back on the field after her yellow card. Weaves through with Kenzie Kent. Kenzie bumped there by Riley and by Block. Kenzie Kent accelerates to the wing. Garrett finessed inside, bounce shot stopped by Waters, and she's able to reel in the rebound. There was a goal circle violation. Give Cummings the ball.
You know, depth right now is what's lacking for Team Arsenal. They're without their captain, Dempsey, in addition to attacker Hallie Majorana. Both of them produce a lot on the field, and that certainly makes a difference not having them this entire weekend.
Both of them missing due to injury. McPartland sends it on around for Levy. Katrina Dowd waltzing with it back behind the cage. You hear all the defensive communication. The ball's put down on the turf. Hirsch wants to come up with a ground ball. Cummings comes out of nowhere to get it. Great hustle play by Taylor Cummings. Unsettled here. Dowd directing traffic. Katrina spots Levy. Levy thought about it for two. To the interior for Stevens. Back to Levy. Still didn't uncork that two. Good takeaway check. Ball down. Wakefield doesn't get the cause turnover though. And the shot clock expires.
Shot clock violation.
Great defensive stand by Team Arsenal. They're in that zone defense, shifting and moving, sticks always up in the air.
Team Cummings has won the first 2 quarters, so each of those players on the side has 40 points. 20 points on the line for the third quarter. Team Cummings has a 3-zip lead in that. Johansson looks inside for Kenzie Kent. That was a difficult catch. Here comes Becca Block. Block out of the blocks, running away from Sammy Jo Tracy. It's just effortless speed from 36 in the blue. Get a whistle here. Liz Brush stopping play. Liz Brush with Devin Holcomb, Peggy Salucci, and Ronnie Anton, your officials. 11-5 on top for Waters and her team Cummings. Let's get you to the Geico defense of the play, our defensive play of the game from Kaylee.
Kaylee Waters right to here. We see her holding her pipe, hugging that point, literally putting her body behind the ball. It's all about watching the ball, eye thumb ball. That's what all goalkeepers are taught early on. We see those quick reactions that she has, but her athleticism is what gives her the ability to get there so quickly inside of that goal circle.
Drive your top hand to the ball. In Kaylee's instance, that's the right when she gets set in her stance. Drive it to the ball. Good things usually happen, and Waters has been dynamite. At the end of the season, we will be awarding the Geico Defensive Player of the Year. The Athletes Unlimited Award comes with an added $5,000 bonus for the winner. With Team Cummings on top by 6. We can send you to auprosports.com. Get your Athletes Unlimited gear. Don't forget to follow on social at AU Pro Sports for exclusive inside content. Courtney, take us inside the huddle there for Dempsey Arsenal's team in the gold. What are they trying to do to rally?
You know, number one, win the draw control, and then 2, have good offensive possessions. They're seeming to turn it over quickly or give up too easy of shots. They want to work harder in that offensive area.
Last player to score for Team Arsenal is Molly Garrett, and that was almost 13 minutes ago. It's been a lengthy drought. 11-5 overall on the scoreboard. With regard to the in-game leaderboard, these players are on the field at the moment. And Taylor Cummings has the top spot. We will crown just one champion next weekend. It's the 5th of the 5 weekends for Athletes Unlimited.
Now, obviously, as you look at these leaders, those who are going to move up, or whether or not your team is winning that third quarter, an extra 20 points. Same thing with the fourth quarter, that overall win worth 45, and then your individual stats matter, but MVPs is that next best way to get yourself on the board. 45 for that first one, 30 for the second MVP, and 15 points for the third.
She's Courtney Martinez-Connor. I'm Joe Beninati. Tail end of the third quarter now. Dowd tiptoes in around that 8-meter key. 20 points on the line. Team Cummings has a grasp on that. Shot clock is turned off. Cummings' pass is too tall. Johansson overruns it. McPartland keeps it alive, down to 13 seconds in the quarter. Walfer on the intercept. Shovel score! Peros gets her 4th.
Emily Peros is having herself a game today after not having a goal yesterday. She's putting herself in positions not just to get draw controls or ground balls, but offensively, having 4 on the day. It was a little bit of a broken play. Offensively, they battled, got the ball back. As soon as it hits the ground, She sees where she's at. Nice little Twizzler on cage. She saw everything behind her. She checked over her shoulder. No defensive player matching stick to stick. Ultimately making it nice and easy, that Twizzler shot. Easier said than done, but very heads up after she picked up that ground ball to quickly get rid of it.
Just prior to halftime, you heard her captain, Taylor Cummings, brag about the skills of Emily Peros, and we have seen them on display today. She had a hat trick against Team Wood last weekend. Remember, that was the one with the game-winning goal on a free position in the last 7 seconds. Dowd marching right to the cage, right past McKenzie. Feeds looking for Peros. Just failed there on the quick stick. That would have been right before the horn, as Taylor Cummings' team ends the quarter on a 7-0 run. They have swept all the way through, tearing it up. Athletes Unlimited Lacrosse is sponsored by Guaranteed Rate. If you believe it, you can do it. Those are the captains back on Monday. Kayla Wood, very familiar with captaincy in the draft. So too for Dempsey Arsenal. Courtney, you join me tomorrow for your first draft experience. We'll have it on Facebook Live, 7 p.m. Eastern. I'm telling you, it's a good time, and it's going to be interesting to watch how the captains choose their sides with just the final weekend of play in mind.
You know, what I think is great about this, each and every player has been able to see over the last 4 weeks what has worked, who has worked well together going into week 5. But obviously, captains won't be decided until games are played tomorrow morning off of the games that did not happen on Friday. So we're going to have to wait to give our predictions on who we think those first picks will be, depending upon the captains.
Team Cummings, as you can tell by quarters, sweeping on through. They've won the first, the second, and the third. So with each of those quarters, 20 points gets added on to everybody on the side wearing blue today. And that means it's a 60-0 lead for Team Cummings. All those win points that add up so quickly. If things continue and Team Cummings holds on, they'll get 45 for winning today. Game number 21 of 30 in this Athletes Unlimited Lacrosse inaugural season. Kaylee Waters had been backstopping Team Cummings. The starting netminder is going to come out after 3 quarters. A job very well done. She'll yield the goal circle to Amber Hill. Amber, a member of the Haudenosaunee Nation. This is the Creators Game. We often see Amber during the day wearing her medicine pouch, Courtney. It helps her feel safe, comfortable, empowered. She does not wear it during the games.
You know what I find so interesting is previously Haudenosaunee's, the women were not allowed to play the Creators game. However, over time, things have evolved and they have allowed the women, young girls, to be able to pick up the lacrosse stick and play a game that's been so near and dear to their community.
Amber Hill had a couple of saves against Team Wood yesterday. Her season high was 10 against Team Trainer back in week 2. That was the game that was played on the practice field after we had the main stadium turf get upset to the point where we couldn't play it. Kenzie Kent is outside the 8-meter key, just getting going in the fourth quarter. Arsenal trailing heavily. Sammy Jo Tracy lets this one fly. That's deflected. Chase to the end line. McCone will restart. Kenzie Kent in there quickly to score. Kenzie Kent was unguarded. She has the hat trick.
We saw Kenzie Kent demanding that ball. Oftentimes when you're bringing a ball in from out of bounds, you can catch the defense out of position if you have a quick restart. And she showed for her stick about 10 times, just about as many fakes as she threw right there. We see a high-low before that defender can even slide. So she was wide open, demanding that ball, which is what you want to do. She's actually been cutting quite a bit offensively, but they just haven't been able to feed her that ball inside. If I'm Team Arsenal, I'm getting that ball into her stick as much as possible, clearing lanes, maneuvering, working on two-man games in order for her to help pull them closer in this game.
Kent adding 12 points to her individual total, ending a lengthy drought. That's a 14-minute drought for Team Arsenal, as the officials are getting a lot of help from the team in gold as to who deserves possession here. It is Team Arsenal racing in. McCone feeds. McMahon has got terrific speed, matched up with Holly Riley. That pass comes back behind the cage. It caught Kenzie Kent there by surprise. Kent bluffs the behind the back. She's guarded by Dowdy. McCone fires! That's Sizzler for 2! Arsenal not finished yet.
A great job defensively, first and foremost, by Meg Dowdy for Team Cummings. She was halting Kenzie Kent's left side. She wanted to make her use her right or do something different. Do something different she did. Her eyes were up. She saw wide open McCone as McCone's defender had slid. And then a quick two-point shot right there. As soon as McCone caught that ball and received it from Kent, she wound up. We see her feet are well away from that. Didn't see a stick follow through. Looked like it may have hit her on the hand, not in the face or body.
Follow through came down on the forearm of Emily Perros. It was definitely from behind the 8-meter key. Question is, more than likely, was it a dangerous follow through? I don't think the two-point shot is of any question. She was definitely behind the key.
Right now, this challenge by Team Cummings, they are looking for a dangerous follow-through on this. It's a two-point goal, and the referees are saying that it stands. Very important. Now, it's good to note that each team is only allowed 2 challenges per game.
Oh, that has to sting.
That's why I wore gloves. Anytime a shooter was shooting, guaranteed they were generally hitting your hands. But that was a powerful shot by McCone. Well placed, catching defense and Amber Hill in goal off guard.
The first 3 points of the fourth quarter belong to Arsenal. Cummings trying to change that right now. Off the split dodge, she scores! Taylor Cummings.
To answer right back is what you're taught to do in lacrosse. You want to halt any team going on any particular run. And right there, answering back, winning the draw control, challenging hard to cage. It's what we saw from Taylor Cummings. Emily Perros Right there, number 5, doing the dirty work. Teammate Becca Block coming up with that ball. You see her speed everywhere. Nice quick stutters from Taylor Cummings. Quick little stutter steps right here. Before she takes on that split dodge, we saw her getting her defender on her heels, which is what you want to do when you're coming in with a head full of steam. Nice quick change of hands by Taylor Cummings. All from that center draw control. Again, we talk about her being dominant all over the field, but it starts with the draw.
She has the overall leaderboard #1 position. Taylor Cummings with her second goal on the day, just 11 seconds after the McCone 2-pointer. The advantage is 5 for the gang in blue. Plenty of time left in regulation, 6:20 to go in it. If Arsenal is able to rally back for the tie, we would play a 3-minute sudden victory overtime. If there was no overtime winner, there would potentially be a shootout to settle matters. Kenzie Kent breezing in there against Dowdy. Flicked on and stopped by Amber Hill in the cage. Amber, who played at Syracuse, class of '07. Moving ahead for Cummings. Taylor for Levy. Find Allmiller on the break. She scores! Kylie Allmiller on a beautiful diagonal pass from Levy.
What a great job by Team Cummings. Out of that defensive area, they're able to push the fast break. Their eyes are up. They're running full speed. And it's connecting passes all over the field. We look right here. Taylor Cummings with the one-handed catch, moving the ball. Tic-tac-toe passing to perfection. Celebration by Kylie Allmiller.
Kylie Allmiller seeing her name up in lights. Team Cummings has a 14-8 advantage. Allmiller has 4 goals today, worthy of a Book of Unlimited mention. The book opened during the opening ceremonies for softball with Athletes Unlimited. Court, it weighs nearly 25 pounds. It has 500 pages in it, and the champion's name will be inscribed next weekend.
That book is 5 inches thick, and we can see why. Along with the champion, all those who competed are inscribed. What I think is great, it's this tradition begins in each inaugural season. Obviously, we're in lacrosse right now, but volleyball, softball, same thing right there. The book, again, will be opened next year for lacrosse.
Less than 2 weekends away are we now from softball season number 2 in Rosemont, Illinois. You see the Geico leaderboard. Taylor Cummings solidifying her hold on the top spot. Katie Glynn will play against Kayla Wood, Team Wood and Team Glenn, 4 p.m. Eastern on FS1. Levy going right back to work. Levy, who just set up Allmiller recently on a beautiful goal. Cummings' offense has been very much on track. Levy thought about the 2. Allmiller behind the back, she scores! Allmiller has her second 5-goal game of the season.
Kylie Allmiller showing her range as an offensive player. She's always looking for where that next play would be, and everything started with Nicole Levy. Her eyes were up. There was a long ball to her. As soon as she caught it, she thought about it. But the best option was Kylie Allmiller streaking down the field. There was no way that Nicole Levy could have taken that shot through the defenders. And then a cutting Kylie Allmiller. What shot did she have? You see that defensive player reaching with her stick. She knew the open lane was right behind her. That's why she threw a behind-the-back shot.
Allmiller had a 5-goal game in week 2 against Haley Warden's team. This gives her 5 today. A helpless Britt Reed there in the goal. 3 tallies for Team Cummings in just about 69 seconds. That was right after Arsenal's group cut the lead to 4. Since then, Cummings has said, let's go on a little bit of a run, fueled by Kylie Allmiller. The familiar eye black, copied by so many young players around the country. Sammy Joe Tracy will try Taylor Cummings on for size at the draw. Sammy Joe bats this one down, but Cummings comes up with a ground ball draw control. It's been that story throughout.
You know, you can see the fatigue on Team Arsenal, especially the midfielders. They're only playing with 3 right now. So when you don't have a rest on the field, you can see Amanda Johansson. They just don't have that extra pep in their step that they normally do without that extra midi and attacker.
Wakefield brings it back. Speaking of the draw circle, 17-8 the lead there for Taylor Cummings. So right around 66% has gone that way for the team in blue. McMahon on the roll dodge against Pareca, pumps it wide of Amber Hill. Hill took over for Kaylee Waters in the 4th quarter. This is the largest lead on the night, or should I say day, for Team Cummings as Kenzie Kent sent it wide. Kent is doing her part. She has 3 goals on the afternoon. McCone off the question mark, swallowed up there by the defense. Kent rolling back into a double team, still with it. Spins it towards the cage, picked up off the ground by Dowdy. The long clear for Peros on the run, 4-on-3 fast break. Peros, move it, Levy. Levy walks the dog underneath. Stopped by Reed. Reed will clear. Walfer will help. End to end we go, just past the midway mark of the 4th quarter. Pelton makes the intercept. Puts the ball down and comes up with a scoop. Kira Pelton, who played collegiately at Stanford.
We look, that amazing move by Nicole Levy, one-handed work, walk the dog indeed. The stick work that Nicole Levy has, number 28 in blue, it's just unprecedented. She's such a smart player. She creates, and creating right there with that one-handed move takes a lot of strength getting it around that defensive player.
Sweet hands. Allmiller on the feed. Dowd is next. Halfway through the shot clock. Steven settles outside the 8-meter key. Just more than 3 minutes. Still to work in regulation. This game in control for Team Cummings. Levy back for Allmiller, just missed it. Allmiller trying to become the first player in this Athletes Unlimited lacrosse season to bag 6 in one game. Her 5 goals today, the 5th time that there have been 5 put up on the board, and Kylie's done it twice. McKenzie moving back, Amber McKenzie. Kenzie Kent, and then McComb.
I'm surprised that we haven't seen any 8-meter shots to date. No fouls inside.
Nice inside roll though, but Hill made a better save there on Kent. In a day when the team wearing blue has had phenomenal offense, you see good goaltending too from Waters and now Hill. Johansson behind for Tracy. Pelton comes to greet her. Just about 2 minutes to go. Team Cummings lost yesterday. Johansson off the spin, fires, and Hill makes another rejection, goosing that rebound to Dowdy. Cummings lost to Wood yesterday, 10-8.
Another 6 points.
Closing in, Dowd fires, she scores. Window dressing now for Team Cummings. They've doubled up Arsenal, 16-8.
Emily Perros showing her speed in the middle of the field. A huge part of why Team Cummings has been able to push the fast break each and every time, and they are sharing that ball so well offensively, making it difficult for Team Arsenal's defense.
At least 3 players for Team Cummings with the hat tricks today. Allmiller, Perros, and Dowd. And well-deserved congratulations, as you can tell, for Amber Hill as she gets back to the blue bench. Mama Bear's fired up.
We saw Dowdy pushing that ball up ahead to Pareka, then Perros, then Dowd, connecting the ball up the field. So important. The ball moves faster than any one player can run. Look at that immense pressure that Katrina is handling right there inside. She's protecting her stick. She's maneuvering around that defense. Again, speed from one player to the other. And nice composure offensively inside of that critical scoring area by Team Cummings.
If you've been following along with us with Athletes Unlimited Lacrosse, you know that Friday's games were postponed. Huge thunderstorms roaring through our compound here. So there are games to be played tomorrow. They won't be televised. Arsenal's squad goes up against Wood. That's a 9 a.m. game. Glenn against Cummings at 11 a.m. And Courtney, we invite our Athletes Unlimited fans to check us out. There'll be more information as the day goes along, but more information as to how we might cover those games tomorrow on Facebook Live. Folks, when you do join us in person at Maureen Hendricks Field, you can get an exclusive NFT. It's a free Athletes Unlimited digital collectible. All you have to do is be here in person and scan the QR code. We'll roll out a new limited edition NFT each fan game this season. So get your tickets and start collecting today. One more weekend to come. Playing in front of friends and family and special guests today. Kylie Allmiller has been the engine driving this train.
Kylie Allmiller, she is such a great offensive weapon. We see her cutting, getting herself open. A lot of times, being a lefty, defensive players can be mixed up. But she shows that she has the ability to shake and bake as well. That quick roll dodge to the inside, catching her defender on her heels, and then shows her range with a catch, turn, and fire offensively. Nicole Levy with the tremendous vision. Another cut by Kylie Allmiller. And then we see some fancy moves right there, behind the back shot. Kylie Allmiller has done what has been needed offensively to get her team in the win column so far.
You can see how well she has shot the ball today. She's picked up better than 100 points just in this game alone, as Team Cummings is going to win the game. That'll be 45 points for everybody. They're going to win all 4 quarters. That's going to be 80 points for everybody. And you're sure going to see Allmiller get MVP votes, perhaps either 45, 30, or 15. This is a banner day for 71 in blue.
And don't quote me on this, but I'm like 99% positive this is the biggest loss that anybody wearing that gold jersey has incurred. We saw when Kayla Wood was the captain.
As Garrett stashes one off of a relay from Kenzie Kent. Just about 90 seconds left in it. The deficit is 7.
Every time it's like they hear me say that they haven't done something and they pick it up. So straight from the draw control, this is something that's plagued them throughout the entire game. I like the change that they have made, putting Sammy Jo Tracy at the draw control. Sammy Jo had such a great collegiate career. And when it was she often matched up against Taylor Cummings, UNC versus Maryland, she was on the winning side of that, and that change, that small adjustment, has helped Team Arsenal.
We had that cutaway shot of Dempsey Arsenal in the black t-shirts with the sleeves rolled up. It's got to be a frustrating day and weekend for Dempsey as the captain of this team, not able to play due to injury. Taylor Cummings' side, 90 seconds away from victory lane. Emily Perros has had a huge game for herself. Cummings racing to the top of the 8-meter key. Waltzes right on in there and then bounced it wide. Hirsch gooses it into the goal circle. Reed will come up with it. Britt Reed going the distance. See her goals against average balloon. 45 points are awaiting for Team Cummings. Everybody on that roster, it's going to be a clean sweep all the way through. We haven't had very many of those in the 20 previous Athletes Unlimited lacrosse games. This is game 21 of 30. Kenzie Kent didn't come back to her right there. Kayla Wood and Katie Glynn warming up for what will be a 4 p.m. Eastern time start. You can see that on FS1. As we shout out thanks to all the men and women in our technical crew, getting into Maureen Hendricks' field early today to get us set up. On an overcast day, the offense for Team Cummings has been red hot. The final 15 seconds will tick off. Team Cummings plays Team Glynn tomorrow, not televised. Arsenal looks for the bounce back against Team Wood tomorrow morning, not televised. What has been televised, an offensive explosion for the team in blue. Cummings wins this one 16-9.
Joe, Team Cummings did a great job of making adjustments from yesterday's game. They struggled to work together, and we certainly saw no questions of that today. They shared the ball, they were battling at the draw circle, and they were finishing most importantly.
Not very often you see the best players in the world get skunked in an individual game. Few of the top players for Team Cummings had 0 points yesterday, including that player right there. And Kylie Allmiller responded with a vengeance today.
And then you had Taylor Cummings, who only had 1 goal, so it was very atypical of them yesterday in their game. This is more like the style that we're used to seeing them play.
Allmiller advancing to the 6th spot on the overall leaderboard, the Geico overall leaderboard. Taylor Cummings setting the pace. We have not yet added the win points incomplete, and of course there will be MVP voting as well. So you're going to see more and more blue at the top of the board. It has been a sparkling day for Team Cummings. The win goes their way by the final count of 16-9. For Courtney Martinez-Connor, for all the men and women in our technical crew, Joe Beninati, thanks so much for your time. Goals from near and far, all over the place, and pretty much all blue with Athletes Unlimited Lacrosse.